Hello everyone, back tuning into the 7th Christmas update. So we've done 6 updates Christmas so far. And I've been relatively spaced out since the 1st of December. But they are getting more regular now as we get a little bit closer towards thinking about Christmas. So from now on they're going to be like every other day. And we're going to keep them going right way up to Christmas. A couple of weeks before Christmas we will shift from the CFS. At the moment we're using the long range CFS, and we're looking for trends within the long-range model. But when we get around a couple of weeks before Christmas, then we will shift over from the CFS to the GFS, the shorter range model. And at that point, we will try and put a little bit of detail into the Christmas updates. But at the moment, we're just using the long-range model, and we're looking for trends for kind of like mid to late December to early January, that sort of Christmas New Year type period. And if we get a trend, then we'll see whether that is maintained through future updates. So far, I think the trend has been towards a westerly Christmas, having westerlies for Christmas, but not necessarily overly mild. We have had a couple of mild westerly updates. We also had a couple of cold westerly updates, including the last update that we did on Saturday. The 6th update was kind of like cold westerly, cold zonality. So let's see what the 7th update has to say. We haven't had a really cold update yet, so we'll see what the 7th update has to say very shortly. So just say that the first video released today was the week 10-day video update, taking us to the end of November and beyond. Have a look at that and see what's going on when you're done with the Christmas update. The Christmas shop is open. Yes, Gal's Christmas shop is open. So if you've got any Christmas shop to do at Amazon between now and Christmas, all you need to do is go to the Christmas shop page, and then you'll find an Amazon search widget where you can search out any items that you want to buy, or alternatively, and very easy, you can just click through the Amazon banners and go directly to Amazon. Whether you do it through the search widget or whether you do it through the banners, you will eventually finish up at Amazon where you do your shopping as usual, and that's where you'll pay for your items as well. So you're not doing anything differently. It's just purely about that you go from Gas Service to Amazon. That means we get a revenue fee on the things that you buy from Amazon. So a big thank you to everybody for doing their Christmas shopping at Amazon again this season. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. So we're going to be at metroseal.fr, of course, for this Christmas update. We're using the CFS V2 9 monthly forecast as usual, and it was generated midday run, generated midday yesterday, the 17th of November. Always that 24-hour delay on the charts coming through. We endeavour to use it. It's run 4 times a day, the CFS. We endeavour to use a midday run for no particular reason other than that's when we choose. It shouldn't make any difference to the overall outcome. But it means that we can compare back to past midday CFS V2 runs, and we can't be told off cherry-picking any particular outcome. It's purely the way the charts come out as we are doing the update. And I think that's everything I'm going to tell you. So we'll get on with the 7th Christmas update. We're going to begin at the start of December. So on the 2nd of December, we're under a little ridge of high pressure here from the southwest. It's relatively cold under that ridge, probably with overnight frost and fog. Well, we start running low pressure in very quickly as we go through this first week of December. So low pressure heads in from off the Atlantic, bringing cloud and rain and pretty cool temperatures with it as well. Then we re-establish the ridge to our south for a little while, but we're up to the 8th of December now, and we're turning increasingly unsettled with quite a strong cold northwesterly wind, probably bringing wintry showers to northern and western parts of the country. So we're into the second week of December. That's how we're looking. So quite unsettled, actually. A deep area of low pressure is developing there to the north of Scotland. That's bringing a gale across many parts of the country and probably heavy rain too. Now, as this low pressure is moving away into Norway, it is putting in some quite cold air from the northwest. So it's the 12th of December now. This is the day of the general election, of course. And again, nothing too concerning there for anybody who's going to be voting. It doesn't look as though that should be particularly impactful either. It could be a bit cold for Scotland. Could be some wintry showers up there. But otherwise, we're under a slight bump of high pressure. So it would be a mainly dry, if rather chilly day, probably just sort of average type temperatures for early December. Not long before the next low is running in, though. This is the 13th of December. More low pressure coming in off the Atlantic, again bringing cloud and rain. Might be a little bit of snow on the northern edge of that, across on the northern edge across southern Scotland, perhaps. And then that gets out of the way, and we go into a cold northerly. Now, we are beginning to raise the heights a little bit in the North Atlantic. So as we move towards the middle of December, it hints that it's going colder here. High pressure is beginning to develop in the North Atlantic, and it's starting to head up towards Iceland and Greenland. A cold front is pushing southwards across the country. That will be introducing much colder air as you follow the isobars back. The air originates from quite a long way north. And snow showers will be affecting northern and eastern parts of the country there on the 15th of December. Quite interesting. What happens after that? Well, we find the high pressure then beginning to slip down in towards the UK. So we begin to cut off that northerly. It starts to settle down, becoming mainly dry, but there will be some very cold nights with that. Probably some severe frost would be expected. We're at the 17th of December. The high is just slipping out a little bit further south now, starting to allow milder air to begin to roll in over the top. So, yes, it's turning a little bit milder, especially for northern parts of the country. Probably still quite cold for England and Wales there, though. Let's say we get a bit closer to Christmas then. So that high pressure then collapses down into France and into Spain as well. We are definitely re-establishing a westerly flow now. It's not a particularly mild westerly though. In fact, it's rather chilly. And as that low pressure runs into the north of Scotland, then begins to sink over towards Denmark, we will probably bring rain or snow in with that. 19th of December and to the 20th, we begin to build up a little bit of a ridge to our south. It's having a go at getting itself up to Scandinavia, but it looks like the westerlies are going to be too strong to allow a Scandinavian high at this point. And now running up towards Christmas, it's to begin to turn much more unsettled again. Low pressure really deepening like mad in the North Atlantic, going down to 945 millibars. That would bring heavy rain and gales or severe gales across the country there as we're running up to Christmas. This is Christmas Eve, looking very, very stormy for Christmas Eve. Look how tightly packed the isobars are, particularly for the northern part of the country. That is severe gales battering Scotland. Probably quite cold as well, with wintry showers in the north. This little secondary low is running in across England and Wales. That's bringing rain, maybe a little bit of snow on the northern edge of that. Right, so Christmas Eve looking stormy. What about Christmas Day? This is how it looks for the 7th Christmas update. So unsettled, slight little transient bump there of high pressure to start Christmas Day. So mainly dry, sunny, but rather chilly start perhaps. And then in comes the next low. Again, looking very unsettled and stormy with that late on Christmas Day. So Christmas night into Boxing Day. Very stormy, heavy rain. On the northern edge of that low, probably cold enough for snow in the northern part of the country. So again, this is another suggestion of cold westerlies, similar to what we had in the 6th Christmas update on Saturday. So Boxing Day starts quite stormy and cold. That low gets out of the way and going to a cold, showery northwesterly, probably wintry showers in the north. Then we start to build up a bit of a ridge as we go to the 27th of December. High pressure is starting to build, and it's having to go again itself towards Scandinavia as well. This is settling down, and it's quite cold. We've got low pressure out to our west. High pressure is like over Denmark and southern parts of Norway and Sweden on the 28th of December. The wind is sort of south-southeasterly, but it won't be a mild wind at all. That'd be quite a cold wind blowing in off the continent. Certainly there would be the risk of night frost. Moving up towards New Year, we start to see heights beginning to rise up towards Scandinavia. So he's having a go at getting a Scandinavian high going, actually, as we get towards the new year. So we're up to New Year's Eve now. And looking very, very interesting here. We've got an area of high pressure building over Scandinavia. We've got low pressure being blocked out to our west. Winds are shifting more towards the southeast. We have got a pool of really quite cold air that's sitting across many central and northern parts of Europe. That's going to have a go at pulling the wind into the east, I think, as we go into the new year. So this is how things are looking for New Year's Day. We are looking increasingly blocked. We've got high pressure over Scandinavia. Notice the yellow colours beginning to appear up towards Greenland. As this low pressure, again, it's having a go coming in from the Atlantic. That's bringing a band of rain with it. There's cold air that's being pulled in with both southeasterlies. So that could be quite a wintry New Year, actually. That could bring snow across parts of the country for the new year. Definitely for northern and eastern areas, that could be a wintry start to 2020. Let's run through the first week of January and see what comes of this. So again, we've got a real battle taking place here into the opening days of January, with low pressure stalled in the middle of the North Atlantic. High pressure is to our north and east. Notice again, we've got this elongation in the isobars. That's a stalling weather front that's trying to push across the country, but it's meeting that cold air, increasingly severely cold actually, to our northeast. And as this stall takes place, so an area of low pressure is running along the weather front, that is potentially a snow event there on the 3rd of January. So let's see what happens after that. Increasingly, the low pressure is being pushed southwards. So we're up to the 5th of January here and pulling in a cold, very cold easterly wind. The low pressure has dived down into Spain and southern France. And real easterlies are being brought in across the country there. So after that battle around the new year, it's a cold air that wins the battle. Winds going to the east, that would be bringing bitterly cold air from the east and heavy snow into eastern parts of the country. Really, really cold easterlies there being brought in with those winds blowing in from the east. We keep these cold easterlies going to the end of the first week of January. Notice how these areas of low pressure again are being forced to the south as the wind is maintained from the east and from the northeast too. That low is having a go at bringing some milder air up from the southwest, but will just result in more snow for southern parts of the country. So let's carry on running through up to the middle of January. Well, then we start to try and turn things milder. Low pressure is coming in from off the Atlantic. That does thaw things out as we go up to the middle of January. So unsettled and still quite cold, but more towards rain rather than snow there during the middle of January. And then into the second half of the month, we won't go much further than this. Well, again, we've got high pressure still sitting to our north, so heights are maintained around Greenland, which means it all looks very, very interesting. It looks like we're setting up another battle here as we get towards the 23rd of January. Again, low pressure is sort of marking the boundary between the cold temperatures that are still sitting up to the north and east. Never really goes away, those cold temperatures, and milder air from the south. So cold conditions and snowy conditions would still be threatening there. A very, very interesting 7th Christmas update, I'm sure you will agree. That's our coldest update so far. So, for Christmas itself, actually, it's, again, another pretty cold, unsettled, rather stormy westerly. But then just after Christmas, that's when we start to really build up the high pressure to the north and to the northeast and start to pull in those bitterly cold easterly winds. The first week of January looks very, very cold and wintry on this 7th Christmas update. Now, the trend for Christmas for that cold westerly is maintained from the 6th update and actually previous updates to that. So I think we can say that the trend for Christmas continues. Obviously, all of the stuff with the much colder weather by New Year, that is something that we haven't seen before. So, I mean, don't take that at all seriously, and we'll see whether that crops up in any further updates. But yeah, quite an interesting 7th Christmas update, I'm sure you'll agree. And we'll see what the CFS has to say as we get through to Wednesday. That will be when we release the 8th Christmas update. But there we go. Had a pretty cold one there for the 7th Christmas update. Hope you enjoyed it. That's all for now, and thanks for watching.